Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to Father and Daughter Podcast with your one and only Ria.
Ria, yeah, and me. And for me, the father of Ria, and someone else.
And someone else to someone else. We'll let you figure out what that means. But you haven't got long before we tell you what that means. So, yeah. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a hot minute. This seems to keep happening. And we know you're probably thinking, what is happening? Like, why are you not doing podcasts? And we've tried to keep it a bit of a secret for a while. But what's done in the dark always comes to light. So, yeah, we're gonna...
So, yeah, we ain't been doing it. I mean, obviously, the last time we done one, we had a bit of a break before that. We had other issues. Now, it's not we've got issues. There's no issues going on. It's just another episode, another chapter in our lives.
Indeed.
That's exactly what it is. So, yeah, what I'll do is I'll go back to the book, and the book itself runs through 3 generations: my dad's life, my life, and a little bit of Ria's life. Ria, she put it all together. So Ria herself, even though she's not in the book in a big way, she's the actual togetherness. You're the one that brought it together. So there's 3 generations. I don't know what. Do you just want to get to the fucking point? Because
just carry on.
Yeah, but do you know where I was trying to go?
I do know where you're trying to go.
So yeah, but I don't want to be like spokesman at the moment. I want you to say what you need to say.
You're complicating it.
Okay.
You don't need to complicate it.
Okay, so there's 4 generations now. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I put that into words? I'll let Ria fucking tell you.
So, guys, the big announcement. I'm pregnant! I am pregnant. Yes.
So she's going to be a mum and I'm going to be a granddad.
Yeah.
As like what I just said earlier, there's another member of a family. Actually, is going to be the first great grandchild. But yeah, so Ria is pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
Okay.
I am with child.
Yeah, so it's a hard one now to bring it out because you've never been in this situation before. It ain't like I've never been a granddad before. Do you know what I mean? I've never been, bringing my own kids into this world was a bit of a hard one and a shock one. So for me to be told I'm going to be a granddad, it's a shock. It's change. And me, I'm always believed there should be change in life and progression and growth, not just in work and in family as well. It's a beautiful thing in its own right. And it's your moment. Do you get what I mean? It's going to be your moment. That's what it is. I keep saying to Ria, enjoy your free moments and your free time while you can. But she doesn't listen. She doesn't listen. She don't know what's coming.
This is the thing. Dad thinks that once I give birth, life is just going to stop. And I think it's an element of you doubting my understanding of the hardships that come with being a parent. And I acknowledge it, I know. But I feel like to say that that's it...
Let's not go into that. We could talk about that in a minute. How does it feel being pregnant? How did it feel being pregnant? How did it feel being told you're having a baby for the first time?
Well, It's a weird one because it never came as like a, oh my God, like, there is an element of, oh my God, because again, never been pregnant to know, like, you know, what to expect or anything like that. So for me, it's a sense of...
Do you feel pregnant?
It's such a weird one.
Do you feel like you're carrying a baby, or do you just feel like you've been told you're pregnant and you're like, am I?
You know what? There's an element of that. Yeah, there is an element of that because obviously I'm not showing yet. I'm not at a point where I'm able to feel the baby kick and see movement or anything like that. So there's no kind of like reassurance I get from just getting on with my day to day in terms of the baby, me knowing that the baby's there. But then obviously there is a part of you that does feel a bit different. You know, like there's many things that come with being pregnant, and each person gets different symptoms. They have different, you know, no two people are the same. So do I feel different to how I did however many months ago? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do notice a bit of a difference. But is it that much of a difference? No, I think I'm yet to experience the physical, you know, part of it in that way. Okay. But yeah, there is a part of you that is like, are you real?
I mean, I don't feel like you're pregnant.
Yeah, like, are you real?
If you want me, I mean, like, everything's still the same.
Would you say?
Everything's just still the same. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
But I knew that in mum's pregnancies as well.
Mm.
You know, only until you start getting heavier.
Yeah.
And you start showing and there's kicking and you're like, wow, I actually can feel, you know.
Which is completely different to what, like, I don't know what I thought it would be like. Maybe I thought, like, you start showing not that long after.
Well, I don't know. Like, you walk around the house like this. I don't know what's happened to you. Like, I look at you. It's like, what are you doing? You're like, look, Dad. Yeah, look, Dad. Like, I'm like...
You can't notice nothing.
Not really.
Not really? So what, my belly's just always been this way?
Your belly's always been that way.
You're such an arsehole. I notice a difference.
Okay.
I notice a difference.
I like me, like, I've got a big belly. I've got a big belly. I don't know what's happened to me ever since I stopped smoking. But I feel like I'm more pregnant than you.
Oh, you are. You are, for sure. But you have to bear in mind something. Like, I'm not, like, generally speaking, I am not skinny or extremely slim. So, obviously, I believe if you're quite slim, you know, you probably will show a little bit more prominently.
Do you think about the labour?
Oh, yeah.
And what do you think about it? Are you scared of it?
Right, it's a weird one because, again, you hear stories, you know, apparently it's the most painful pain that majority of women experience in their life. And there's a part of you that, you know, dreads that, like, how painful is it going to be? And it is one of those ones where it's like, you don't have a choice. Like, pregnancy is weird because you voluntarily put yourself in that situation where you know that at the end of it, you're going to be in excruciating pain giving birth. But you have no choice but to go through with this. There's no other way your baby's going to come out unless, obviously, you know, maybe you have a C-section or whatever. Even so, you still experience contractions and all of that. So yeah, many things cross my mind. You know, how long is my labour going to be? Is it going to be a straightforward labour? Is there going to be any complications? Am I going to tear? Am I going to shit myself? Am I going to, like, what's going to happen? But it's one of them ones where
I think what will happen is...
Yeah.
It's not I think. I know what will happen. Right now, like what you just said, is you turned around and you said, I'm pregnant, but I don't feel like I'm pregnant. Yeah? I get these urges and these thoughts and I know I am or whatever. Once your body starts to show and you start to become full-blown pregnant, your body gets to the stage where you're exhausted with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your body's telling you, I want it out now. Your body takes control. Yeah, and what actually happens is that I believe, even though I'm a man, experience from your mum, is it gets to the stage where you end up with this love for a child that hasn't seen daylight yet. And it gets to the stage where you want the baby out because you want to see it. And it's worth any pain. And it's worth any labour. And it's worth any procedure. Even if it's a natural birth or a C-section. By the time you reach 8.5 months, you're going to feel the final tolls of being pregnant. And that's where I feel like how you feel right now, because you're going to be looking back on this podcast, and you're going to be looking back on this podcast when you're 8 months pregnant, and you're going to feel like I'm a completely different person.
Yeah, for sure.
So the way you feel right now when I ask you the question, what do you think about labour? To you, I believe it feels like you're going to get your tooth out in the dentist at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a weird
there's
one because...
there's nothing really... I mean, you don't know what you're having, a boy or a girl yet. So by you not knowing, you knowing instantly gives it a sex.
Yeah.
So that itself gives you a connection.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I feel like labour itself, it's a combination of excitement and fear. You know, it's a weird combination.
Fear of what?
Well, you know, it's a weird one.
Fear of labour or fear of change?
No, not change. Not change. A fear of, you know, you hear all kinds of stories, you know, like, is the baby going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? You don't know what could happen. It's not one of them ones where it's like, you know, you can have a birth plan of what you want to happen. It might not happen that way. Like, anything can happen. Is the baby going to be ready? Are you going to be induced? Are you going to want a natural birth, but then you need an epidural? There's so many different things
Is that what you think about?
No, I think about how on earth am I going to push a little human out of my body?
I think what you don't realise is actually how small a baby is.
I hear you.
They're small. They're tiny little things this big. Little head this big. It's tiny. I personally feel, you know, like, as much as I talk about you and I talk about me, you know, the most important person is your partner. Like, deep down, I haven't had like a one-to-one with him, sort of like face on face. It's been a bit like in the air talk. But me personally, I know he's shitting himself.
Do you think?
I know he's shitting himself.
With regards to what, though? The baby or change, like
I'll
you
put it in that way. And it's as much as someone go, no, I'm not. I'm looking forward to it. The true reality of it is fear, and especially change. Because me thinking about me, you know, I had my first child when I was 19. And I had nothing, and I wasn't scared of having a kid. I just had nothing to give the kid. But I'm 19. What 19-year-old has anything today? The second child, Layla, was amazing. I loved it. You know, I absolutely loved it. You know, things were going for me, but I had more mental problems back then. You know, so I was struggling in that way. But I was scared. I was really scared because I was like bringing a full-blown family into it. So what I'm trying to get to is that I think through all these changes that are going to be happening, bringing a new person into this world, I feel like everyone's going to need an element of support.
Hmm.
Yeah, they need. You're going to need like a moral support. You need to be told sometimes everything's going to be all right. You know what I mean? And everything's going to be okay. So I feel like your partner, when you do have the baby, it's going to be a big change because it's going to be a whole complete change.
Mm.
You know what I mean? There's going to be another person in the world. There's going to be other responsibilities, you know, financial, psychologically, you know, where you're going now, where you was going 3-4 months ago and where you're going today is completely different. It's amazing how life can change instantaneously. You know, 1 minute you can change a job, change a country, change your relationship, and then big changes, you know, where things can come to you, you know, and you're gonna end up with a kid. So you yourself, as your dad, and I see you, I feel like as the pregnancy goes on, and it gets bigger and bigger, the realization of it will start to kick in. All right, because the same way when I say to you, you know, do you feel pregnant, and you say no, it's the same reality of that. It hasn't hit you yet. It's just talk.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like you are in your best environment. I feel like you got a great family that can support you. And I just feel that I would like you and your partner to give the child the best possible surroundings you can possibly do without having regrets. The same way when I look back on these podcasts and I tell you about regrets I had with you guys, don't have regrets. All right. So that's why it's important, you know, even though there's going to be fear is what's going to catapult you into your next life and your next chapter, and make the most of that chapter, because trust me, the kid is going to grow up rapidly. How many kids do you think you're going to have?
6.
You haven't had your first one yet.
7.
Now, how many kids would you like
How many
to have?
kids would I like to have?
Can't just go 6 or 7.
I'm only joking, Dad. It's a joke.
It's not a jokey time, Rhea.
Listen,
It's not.
if I want it to be jokey, it will be jokey. So I definitely like more than one child. Yeah, this is in my idealistic perception. So I definitely would like more than one child. I would either like 4. I've always liked the idea of having a big family. Because I think of children, then children having children. You know, your children will have partners, and you know, like when you look down the line, you can
I wonder
see.
if I'll be around to see your children's children.
Let's see.
Let's see. Like, you see it like, if you're here, you're here, you're not.
Well, it's.
I wonder.
Let's see, hey. You better be. But yeah, I mean, I'd like 4 children. A weird part of me feels like once I have one baby, providing everything's okay, they're just going to keep coming and keep coming.
Is that how your partner feels?
Well, yeah. I mean, he would like a big family too.
Okay.
Obviously all in due time. Doesn't have to be something that's like, you know, but obviously I'm 28, so
Can't waste time.
yeah, you know, there's only so long gaps you can leave these things, and I don't want to have a baby. Say, nothing wrong if you do have the baby at these ages, but personally I probably wouldn't want to have a baby any older than maximum like 35. But yeah, that's just my preference.
Okay. Okay. So it was a weird one because even though you're probably not going to ask me any questions.
I'm going to ask you a few questions.
you?
Yeah,
Okay, then.
of course.
All right then.
was going to ask you. So how does it feel knowing that... Well, you are a granddad anyway at the moment. Like, you know, even though the baby's not here. But how does it feel to know that someone is going to call you Dede? And you are going to be that baby's granddad?
Truth?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm too young to be a granddad.
Do you?
Far too young.
What? 48?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like I'm 48 years old. I feel like I'm too young to be a granddad. You know what I mean? Like,
I disagree.
you don't disagree because it's happening.
I disagree, Dad.
How does it feel? I'm going to be totally honest with you. So when you told me you was pregnant, you know how I reacted. You know, I don't know if you want me to talk about it or anything. But you know how I reacted. I weren't happy. All right, because of just certain things. Okay, but it's not about me and me being happy. It's about you being in control. And you know, my main thing was, and I know it sounds really weird, and I told you initially at the beginning what I felt. You know, like I would never ever tell you to get rid of a baby or anything like that. So initially at the beginning, I was a little bit scared and frightened for you, not for me. I could baby cry, so you go and look after your baby, and I would. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for you, but it's your baby. So initially at the beginning, I was scared for you, and then I knew. And I know it sounds really weird. Like your mum was, you know, I don't know, over the moon. I don't know what she was. She was like, she wouldn't really let me speak.
Does she ever?
Every time I went, right, she went. And I said what I have to say. And it's just about creating that perfect environment. There's no such thing as perfect, but your best environment possible you can. And my moment of knowing I was going to be a granddad wasn't when you told me. It was when I told my mum. And that was the moment. So my mum means the world to me. And I can remember I was in the bath and your mum said to me, the phone rang and she went, "You best tell her." And I was like, I'm in the bath, my bollock on is hanging out. You know, it's not the right time to be doing this. And your mum just shouted out to my mum, "We've got news to tell you." And I was like, I looked at your mum and I was like,
Is right now the right time?
What the hell are you doing right now? I'm in the middle of a Head and Shoulders moment. Yeah. I'm in the middle of a Vidal Sassoon moment. And anyway, she told mum. And when my mum got on the phone and looked at me and she told me, and I saw that smile on my mum's face, it made me realise I've got backing from my family. Even though to some people that might not seem... Well, that's not... You don't need to have... I do. You understand? To some people... To me, it's like... I feel like my whole family knows now.
So would I have not had backing from you if you never had backing from your family?
Would say that again.
So you said the moment you felt like, you know, I'm going to be a granddad, was you felt at ease knowing that, in technical terms, your mum was happy about it. Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
So if your mum wasn't happy about it, would that then restrict you from supporting me?
Never.
Right.
It just means I've got more work to do on the other side now.
Okay.
And I didn't need that more work at this time in my life. I can't be like doing that.
Yeah.
So when like my sister was like boom boom boom, oh my god, you can see how auntie is. You see how Nene is really now, you know. So my mum has never been maternal, so I always had that little bit like I didn't want her to question you. You know, I didn't want her to question you. So but that was the moment I felt like, yeah, I can chill a bit now. I can relax a little bit. Don't know why. I've always been like that. Yeah. So, what was your question?
How
Right?
how do you feel knowing that you're going to be a granddad?
Initially at the beginning, I weren't happy. I have to learn to accept it, like we always say. You got to learn to accept. And then when I had the sort of like togetherness of my family, I felt comfortable. I don't think about it. I don't think about any of it. You understand what I mean? I feel like it's a wonderful thing. Do you understand? I think you're blessed.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so how do I feel like being a granddad right now? I'm in the same situation as you. It's just talk. It ain't there. So, yeah, that's where I am at the moment.
Okay. Interesting. Dede. Dede.
Yeah.
So yeah, one thing that I actually, am happy about, and then it also does make me a little bit sad at the same time, is that obviously my grandparents now, well, if I look at mum's side, I've got my nan and my granddad. My nan is going through her own issues at the moment. She suffers with Alzheimer's. And progressively, she is getting worse. We ourselves notice that in such short periods of time, she isn't getting any better, let's put it that way. And it always did cross my mind, especially because my nan was a very prominent person in my upbringing. Will my nan be around to see my children, especially because I'm getting older? So there's a part of me that's really happy that, God willing, knows that my grandparents will see my child. And then when I look at your parents now, I feel like because I was Nene's first grandchild, I feel like that was an adjustment for her. That was a new experience. And now I'm going to be the person who's given her first great-grandchild as well. So again, I'm very happy that Nene is here to be able to experience that. It is a shame that Dede isn't here, because again, it would be something brand new experience. And especially if we think back to when Kyra was born, her being, very, very, well, she was a month. How old was she when Dede passed away? She was very,
Couple of months.
Not long had been
3
born.
months, I think, yeah.
To which he never got to enjoy either. Do you know what I mean? And if you haven't gathered from our podcasts, we are very family oriented. We love family. It's one of the most important things I'd speak for you too, to us, It's one of them things that keeps us going and adding to your family. It's beautiful, and me now gonna have a family of my own, is beautiful. But it does just make you...
Do you, in the back of your head, do you have that thing that you said in a few podcasts ago about one in, one out?
Oh, yeah.
Is that in your head?
Yeah. It's a weird one, innit? Because you can be superstitious, you can have your doubts, your opinions, whatever it may be. If something's going to happen, it's going to happen, no matter what your thoughts or feelings are. It's just the way life is. But there's been many cases, like we've said in previous podcasts, where we've witnessed firsthand the case of one in, one out. I do pray that isn't the case, for my baby. But But yeah, it definitely does. It puts things into perspective, you know, like for every person being born, there is someone that passes away. It is the circle of life. It is something that, you know, as we get older and as we live our lives, we shy away from the whole thought of death and, you know, the fact that we are born, we live, and then we do die. It's what happens to everyone. And it's crazy how you celebrate births and you dread deaths, you know? So it is a weird one, yeah, but it's definitely crossed my mind.
Have you thought of any names? Sort of brighten up the moment a bit, all
right? Names, it's a really difficult one. Me personally.
Has he thought of any names?
Let
me ask you a question. What do you think you're having, a girl or a boy?
Oh. Right.
Just say it. You can't be thinking about it because then that means you don't know.
No, it's not that because it's a hard one.
Why?
So I'm
A or B?
No, it is. I get you. So my symptoms of being pregnant, have led me to believe I'm having a boy. Okay. This is what my symptoms have led me to believe. In the strangest way possible, I think I'm having a girl. Okay. But if I'm told I'm having a boy, I will not be surprised. Do you get what? Yeah?
What are you having?
I don't know!
What do you think you're having, a boy or a girl? You're going a long way about it.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
What does your partner think you're having?
At the beginning, he thought a boy. Now he thinks girl.
At the beginning, he thought a boy, and now he thinks a girl. Okay.
Yeah. And it's difficult. You sway back and forth. I feel like I could have a boy because no one has boys. Like, you know, no one has boys. We're all like girls. Everyone has a girl. But now a new gene is being introduced, you know? You don't know how that's going to go. Both your siblings have had boys.
Yeah.
But you've had all girls. My mum has only a sister.
I wonder what Tasha would have had.
Yeah.
I wonder what she would have had, boy or a girl.
I know.
I bet she would have had boys.
I feel boys. Yeah. I feel like she would have had boys. And it's a weird one because, like I said to you, I want more than one child. And if I think of it in an ideal world, I would like to have the boy first. You know, so if I do have any daughters, they can be a protector alongside, you know, the other men.
I mean, you say that.
Yeah.
But if they've got older sisters and you have a boy, you probably find the boy's going to be very loving and caring.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You understand? And understand how to respect women.
Whatever way it's meant to be will be.
If you've got one who's like older, then it's a bit like a bully beef. Do you know what I mean? Then you're like, fucking yak, fucking talking like.
But yeah, it will be interesting. What do you think I'm having? What does your gut tell you?
I don't know. I feel like you're having a boy. That's what keeps coming to me, a boy. But it's a weird one. I think you're having a boy. Okay. I'm not going to sort of overthink things. The most important thing is healthy.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's a big shock to the family. Do you know what I mean? It's not a shock. You know what I mean? It's not a shock. You know, it's an addition, isn't it? It's another addition. It's gonna be a beautiful, amazing.
It's a new chapter.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, this is kind of why we've been a bit here nor there because, you know, just so much has been going on. We're both adjusting to.
Not me.
No,
Not me.
Well, you've had things going on yourself,
yeah,
but in my world, this is what I've had going on. So hopefully that explains a little bit as to why we've been inconsistent. We hate the inconsistency, don't we? What are you doing?
I'm in fashion parade, I like that.
You're like.
That was nice. Go on.
But yeah, no, I was just saying, like, so that is what's been going on at the moment.
Going on? You said, well, let me tell you what's been going on.
When did I say, let me tell you what's been going on? Just now?
Yeah.
You're not listening properly, darling.
You watch when you listen to this back.
I never said so. Let me tell you what's been going on. I said, this is what's been going on.
Oh, right. So you did say what's been going on.
Yeah, that I'm pregnant.
That's all I hear. So every time we're indoors and there's something, but I'm pregnant.
Oh, the only other
But
thing,
I'm pregnant.
the only
That's
thing
all
I
I
can
hear.
say about this pregnancy so far is, thankfully, I haven't had any morning sickness, right? Which is one thing that leads me to believe that I'm having a boy, because apparently if you have a boy, you don't really get much morning sickness. Well, I've not been sick once, not once. And I'm kind of past that point where if you were to get it, you're gonna get it. What's the matter?
What? Do you want me to tell you what's the matter?
What?
I was just sitting there thinking, shit, I've got to have 2 needles in my gum tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I've had no morning sickness. But what I have had, and I don't know if it's because my breasts have grown, yeah, even more, that my back, I don't know what it is about my back. My back and my neck, they're the 2 things I can say are horrible at the moment. I'm achy all the time. And it's not in my lower back
Are
necessarily.
you active at the moment?
I am active. No different really to... I get a bit of an energy dump in the afternoon. I do like...
Have you got more energy than normal?
No.
Less energy?
I would say a little bit less, yeah. It's a weird one because I don't nap in the day or anything like that. I sleep quite well, but I get up frequently to go to the toilet. So I don't know if
I
don't know if having a broken sleep leads...
Every time I go to the toilet, you're in it.
Well, that much show how much you use the toilet.
But I'm doing the toilet up at the moment, so...
But yeah, Dad, I don't like to discuss this toilet thing, yeah, with YouTube. Okay? But yeah, so, different subject. Dad is, getting a tooth removed tomorrow. My dad is a bit of a hypochondriac. Do you know what that is? Yeah, that is Dad. I'm a bit similar, yeah. So, you have a tendency to think the worst about things. I've got a headache. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? My head's hurting. Why is my head hurting? I didn't sleep right last night. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? So, Dad is a bit of a baby. He don't like needles. He don't like pain. But
Who does?
But he's had this ongoing issue with this one tooth. And I do think we spoke about this before too. But yeah, basically the tooth's had it now. It's broken and...
Do you know what it is? It's repairable. But I want it out. I can't do it no more.
So I've worked in the dental industry, yeah. So I know how it goes with this teeth thing, yeah. Unfortunately, once you've got a cavity in your tooth, yeah, depending on how big that cavity is, depends on what treatments will work for you. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you've got to try all the things before pulling your tooth out. So if you said you've tried the root canal, yeah.
It was just, I can't do it anymore. I hate the fact, I hate the needles. I can't understand why these dentists have these still, 1920 style needle syringes, silver. I can't work out why they still have them. Big, long, look like they're injecting it into your brain. I don't know why they still do these things. It's like, come on, man, this is the 21st century. And
yeah.
Anyway, I'm thinking about it now, and the thought of that needle going in, and then they squeeze that stuff.
Do you feel it scrape the bone?
Yeah, shut up.
That's
That's what I don't want to hear.
You do. You
scrape
You
the
do.
bone.
You feel it scrape the bone.
I don't want to hear that.
But you do.
You're a mug.
Dad, come on. 2 seconds. You don't feel anything anymore.
Just that 2 seconds. You're a pro at it, ain't you? I just don't like it. But anyway, we might be having a camera following me around tomorrow.
Yeah, we were thinking to film it and show you guys how much of a baby Dad is. What's the worst pain you've ever experienced? Because that kind of links to
Backache.
Was it that time in the front room when you were like this?
My back. Yeah.
What was that? Sciatica.
I trapped the nerve. Yeah.
Okay.
I trapped the nerve for worst pain. It was like back pain in my back and my tooth. They're the worst pains I've had. But yeah, can we not talk about that?
You're not going to ask me?
What's the worst pain you've had?
So, the worst pain I think I've had, yeah,
It's a fingernail pain.
is the worst pain I think I've had. What are you looking at?
Because I don't know, it's the worst pain I've ever... It's like you're in an orchestra. Like,
Dad, I'm half Spanish,
yeah,
half Turkish.
right.
We talk with our hands.
Okay,
yeah.
Go on then.
The worst pain I've had is many years ago. I say like 8 years ago. I got tonsillitis. I got tonsillitis, early stages of it, and I tried to treat it myself with herbal remedies, lemon, ginger, honey, just to ease it. I didn't want to have antibiotics and go through all the doctor malarkey, whatever. So I tried to do that myself. In short, it made it worse. Okay. And eventually I ended up with something called a Quincy. Do you remember this?
No.
You don't remember this?
Quincy, I remember...
Right, so I ended up with...
Puppy had a dog called Quincy.
He did, yeah.
What, and you had a Quincy in your throat?
I ended up with something called a Quincy, right? So I was in excruciating pain to the point where it was like, I felt like my throat was done. Absolutely done. And I remember I had to go to A&E in the end because I was like, I can't do this for another night. I thought I'd just go and get prescribed antibiotics.
Yeah, it's ringing a bell.
I ended up on an IV, with basically to get hydrated, paracetamol, antibiotics, whatever, and told I got to go to St. George's Hospital. I went to St. George's Hospital. Yeah. They were going to make me stay in overnight. The man ended up trying to... Basically, what a Quincy is when your tonsil gets infected. So it's beyond tonsillitis, yeah? And instead of the infection being on the surface, which is what regular tonsillitis is, it's inside. So if that ruptures, you can get sepsis, which is why it's very dangerous. So yeah, he attempted to puncture it and drain it, but there was nothing in there. You came and picked me up from the hospital at like...
I remember,
11, and we came home, yeah. And...
They gave you solutions and that.
They did, and it did soon get better. But in that build-up, I'd say the last 2 days before I went to A&E, oh my goodness. It was excruciating. Very painful. But yeah. Anything else you want to mention while we're here?
No, it's just nice and opener to explain to the guys that, you're going to be a mother and a parent, and I'm going to be a grandparent. We're going into new territories. So...
What's the one bit of advice you'd give me?
One bit of advice I'd give any parent out there.
No, me.
Well, you're going to be a parent. It's any parent. It's you or any parent that's watching. The one thing that I would always give advice is when you have a kid, it's very easily to fall into... This is what I try to explain to you. Yeah, it's very easy to fall into mum and dad. Just mum and dad. You got Ria and your partner. And at the moment, you go out, you have fun, you do your shit or whatever you do, boom, boom, whatever, I don't know, cinema, bowling, whatever the fuck you do it, yeah? So you have fun. It's all in your own time. Jump in an Uber, go over here, have something to eat. Should we leave now or should we wait another 10 minutes? Everything is in your time. Nothing is controlling you right now. So this is the reality of the check that I'm trying to explain to you. There is no, we'll do it in 15 minutes or we'll do it in 10 minutes. When a kid comes along, you do it there and then and you have no choice. There and then and you have no choice. You can't be thinking about it. You just got to do it. So what I'm trying to explain is when you're put into that situation, you're very easily just become mum and dad, not realising time will fly. And it's important that what you do is you still maintain Ria and your partner, and you still have your time, and you still go out, and you still feel like you're young. You still feel like you're a partner and not your mum and dad, because a relationship between two people is not the same as being a parent. Being the parents and being a couple are two different things, because you got people that are split up and they're still parents, aren't they? Yeah. And then you got people that are together that are still parents, but they're split up, but they just live in the same house. And you've got to be careful with that. So if you want to have a healthy life, a healthy relationship, that's my advice, is to make sure that you do not lose yourselves in mothering and fathering, but make sure you do your mothering and fathering properly. And make sure you have your time. Like, I don't know if mum will look after the baby, or your partner's parents will look after the baby, and you just go and do your thing and enjoy it. Me and your mum used to love that moment, that Friday, to go, like, next Friday we never even used to go out. We used to just put a film on and watch it and just go to bed early, and just catch up. When the baby comes along, you're going to be up every 4 hours. You know, the baby's not going to be well. We're going to be shitting, throwing up, this, that, whatever. So you're constantly going to be on edge. That's what it does. It makes you on edge. Some people don't. Some people just get on with it. Fuck it, just get on with it. I wasn't. I was always one of those guys that were on edge. But that's my advice, is to make sure that you guys don't lose yourselves in mothering and fathering a child, but be the best mother and father you can. Yeah?
Love that.
Okay? Because then if you do that and you create that balance, you actually really enjoy parenting.
Yeah.
And then you bring another child in. Do you get what I mean? And you can bring another child in. If you stress and you lose yourself in parenting, then you say, should we bring another kid in? You're like, fuck
No.
that. I don't know who the fuck you are anymore. I don't know who you are. Who are you? All you is mama and dada. That's all you hear.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, so that's important. That I'll tell anyone out there. And people that have been in that situation will probably say, yeah, I get it. And people that have been in that situation and actually split up because of that situation will probably look back and go, God, bloody hell, that's something we should have took on board. Because it's only because you drift. You're going to battle, man. You're going to battle against your partner. You're going to be pissed off with him, and he's going to be pissed off and fed up. And do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's what I try to say is right now, while you've got your freedom, even though you're going to have your freedom in shekels, enjoy your freedom right now. You understand what I mean? Enjoy it. Make the most of it. Because the moment that kid comes, you're going to look at every single bit and go, oh, I could have done that. I should have done this. I should have done that. For some reason, I feel like I've got all the energy to do it now. Why have I got all this energy to do it? But back then I had no energy.
Just let me do it.
Yeah. I'll do a podcast all day, all night.
Dad, I've read the next book in a day.
Yeah. Have the baby. Oh, God. No, you have the baby.
Stop being so hard. You know you're going to look after the baby sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, what do you think I'm going to do? Here, take the baby, Dad.
Well, I don't know, the way you are, I'm a bit scared.
The way I am. You know what I've noticed about you? He loves me, but he bloody knows how to
wind you up.
No, it's not even wind me up. It's lie.
She's going to give me the baby.
It's a lie.
Come back next week.
No, I'm not.
I'm only joking.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah?
But yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Again, we share pieces of ourselves with you. And
you got to remember, this is going to be the podcast itself, what you've just done just now, again, is another chapter in our family's life that other family members will be watching this and go, "Oh my God, Ria's pregnant." Another member of the family, and then there's going to be one day your kid is going to watch this and go, "Damn, look at my mum. She's pregnant at that time with me."
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So look at the camera and look at the camera clearly. So you think you're gonna have a boy? Your boy can look at you and go, "Look how beautiful my mum is."
Oh.
Yeah. Before you go grey and wrinkly and.
But yeah,
All right.
I do get you. I know what you mean. It's always, I say this anyway. I like.
Hold up, look at me as well, because I'll be your granddad. So look at this handsome specimen of a
man.
doner kebab.
He can hear at this point. He might not be able to
Yeah.
hear you, but
What? What do you say? What do you say?
Crazy. But yeah, exciting times. You know, no one knows what life is gonna throw at you, but here's what you make it, isn't it? So
Okay, should we call it a day?
yeah.
Okay, say goodbye to the viewers, and
You know when you say that to me,
Yeah.
you make me feel like, you know, when you're a tiny kid and you're like, go on, say goodbye to Nanny and say goodbye. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening as always. We hope you've enjoyed our little chit chat. I'm not going to give you a day that we're going to upload. Just watch this space, because just because I'm pregnant and just because Dad is busy with everything in the world doesn't mean that we're not gonna still bring you content. So thank you for being patient with us.
and if you want to sponsor any nappies,
Oh yeah,
dummies,
yeah. Let me know.
prams,
Whatever it is.
buggies, cots,
No,
throw
Dad.
money,
No, we're
buy
fine.
her a house.
We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad, we're not charity.
Huh?
We're not a charity case.
I am.
Yeah, you are you. Thanks, guys. But yeah, take care, and we will we'll speak with you soon.
It's Pampers, yeah.
Please like, comment, subscribe.
Mamas and papas, yeah.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and we'll see you soon. Ciao.